Welcome to What's Broken. Today not really broken, but maybe time to check the front brake pads on my Mazda B4000. So I've got it jacked up and blocked with a good stand, and I'm just going to start popping the lug nuts off. I bought this, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, and I believe I popped the tires off and had a look, or maybe when I was getting these tires put on I had a look at the front pads. They didn't look bad, but of late I noticed a couple times when I do step on them, they just it doesn't seem to slow as good as it used to. So just to be on the safe side, I bought a set of they had the lower, middle, and best, and I figured brakes, you should probably spend money on the best pads, so about 90 bucks for the front set. Could have got the cheap ones for probably under 40, but again, I want to be able to stop, so just gonna pop these off and get at it. Got my trusty old Skill. I thought it was Black & Decker. It only works in reverse. Bought it at a garage sale, I don't know, 25 years ago for $1. Greased up the end and have looked to try to get a new, I took it apart a couple of times, and the trigger affair for forward and reverse is cracked and broken, and still safe to use, but it's double insulated or whatever, but it only works in reverse. So really that's probably the major time of when I need it to work, is to take stuff off. Anyhow, yeah, it's a bit of a vintage product, but it still works well. These feel good. Wee little bit of a ridge, but nothing major. It looks like these are 14 mil. There's 2 bolts, one at the top, one at the bottom. Well, the bleeder screw isn't a 10. Try a 9. Huh. Not a 9 either. I wonder if it's standard. I'm going to try a 6-point socket. Yeah, 10 mil is sloppy. 9 won't go on. We'll try a 3/8. 3/8 is tight. I always thought 3/8 and 10 mil were close. Oh, there we go. Just wanted to crack it loose in case when I go to squeeze the pistons back. I'm not sure if this is the style that I can just loosen the top one, remove the bottom one, and then flip the whole assembly up. Some of them are like that. I think I'm taking out the right ones. I guess I'll know in a minute. Ah, yes. So by loosening off the top, taking out the bottom, able to just flip the whole assembly up out of the way. Well, there's still 3/16 of an inch on this one. And the outer one, it's about the same. I'll just show you a comparison with a new one. So there they are, side by each. New one's probably 3/8 of an inch, maybe more. So yeah, probably a good thing to change these even though they're not completely worn out. And I'm going to change out these little, I don't know what they call them, little clips as well. The replacement kit came with one of these, well, two of these, one for each side, and four of these, two for each side. These ones will go in here and here, and that other piece goes up in here. Can you see that? Sorry. And the other piece goes up in here. So pop this out of the way. There's one, and the bottom one's out. I'm going to find a clamp that I can put a block of wood, open up the bleeder screw and push these two pistons back so that I can get the new brake pads in. Before I get to that, just clean up some of these surfaces where those new pieces will go. Get rid of any rust and debris. It looks like these old ones were the same brand. Perfect Stop. I'm just going to set this in place. Get a clamp on it. Put a little pressure on. I have a drip tray down below. So I'm going to back off this bleeder screw a little bit. And just crank these pistons in. Just moving the clamp down to the other piston. Make sure it's pushed all the way back. Yeah, it's all the way in. Tighten the bleeder screw up, don't want any air getting in there. So all I did was undo that bleeder screw so I could move these back in, because these come out as the brake pads wear down. So you won't be able to get the new brake pads in place without reseating these. I'm going to pop this bottom pin out. It's sort of layered up with a little bit of cruddy grease. Take a minute and clean it off. You can use brake clean on it if you need to. This one seems to be just cleaning up rather nicely. Yeah, it's in good shape. Then take a little bit of this brake lubricant. I guess it's a real high temp lubricant. And just grease this up a little bit. Because these help the pads move in and out. And slide the bottom one back in place. Fit the little rubber dust sleeve over. Yeah, it moves nicely. Take the bolt out of the top one so I can do the same. Whoop. My younger brother just sent me a little video. He lives on a little acreage out in Saskatchewan, and he set up an above ground swimming pool. He's swimming in it. So that looks just a little bit more enjoyable than maybe what I'm doing here. You don't want to drop this and risk damaging that hose. Take this other pin out, clean it all up. Yeah, and it's in good shape, not marred or nicked or anything. thin coating of that lubricant. And pop the little dust boot back on. We'll just thread it back in, thread the bolt back in to hold it in place. Sorry about the background noise, there's still some house construction going on just down the alley. And then this one just pops into place. These just help hold the brake pads in the proper location. As well, they help them slide back and forth. I can remember how I took these off. There you go. They sort of only fit one way, so you can't really screw it up. One of these pads has this little screecher pad that when it gets low enough, it'll start rubbing on the caliper, or the rotor, sorry, and then you'll know if it starts squealing, you'll know that your brakes are pretty much worn out. One. And the other. And theoretically, this should drop down right into place. Push this pin in a little. Should be another bolt around here. They are somewhat spring loaded because of this spring that's in the back pushing on the top of the pads, or the back of the pads. Not a whole bunch to these. You know, providing you don't need more extensive repair than, like if your rotor's in good shape and everything else seems to be in good shape, changing your brake pads is pretty easy. I'm sure there's a torque spec on this. There it is. Just double check this, make sure it's tight. That bleeder screw. Yep. Then I'll go around and get the other side start. Well, I'll pop the tire on and then go start on the other side. So I thought I'd just show this again, the difference in the thickness of the new and the old. So these ones, while not wearing out, they weren't making any noise. The new ones are probably 5/16 of an inch wider. So the other thing I didn't show before from a safety perspective is both back wheels are blocked, so always a good idea to do that when you jack up the front end. Okay, we'll get to doing the passenger side now. And just go over quickly the tools I'm using for this. I got a hammer for knocking loose the 14 mils, wire brush, a screwdriver, a little pry bar, the 3/8 socket and hand wrench for the bleeder screw, of course the wheel nuts, and I've got this brake lubricant for those pins and a clamp to squeeze the pistons back. So doesn't require a whole bunch for this basic pad change. Just break this one loose because I'm going to want to clean up the those pins and re-lubricate them. Bottom bolts out. Just going to crack this loose to make sure it's easy to work with. When I go to push the pistons back into place, just use the screwdriver and tilt this up. Get the light out of the way. Yeah, these pads show about the same amount of wear, and they're wearing evenly, so I've got no concerns that maybe one or the other piston is seized. They look pretty consistent. Again, the rotor, it's a little bit of a ridge, but it's probably more rust than wear. Pop this bottom pin out. Slide the boot off. Again, it feels to be in pretty good shape. Spray it with a little brake cleaner this time. I think I'll take a fine emery cloth and just, this one has a little more surface rust than the other one, the other side did. Just got some 180 emery cloth. Just clean it all up a little bit. Yeah, much better. We'll goop it up a little with this brake lube. Not overly doing it, just getting a nice thin coat on. And slip the boot back over. The bottom end fits over a little lip on the pin. Good. It's nice and free. Spray her with a little brake clean. It's in good shape, no divots or dents or wear marks. A little dab will do ya. Kind of roll this back and forth, make sure it's not cracked or broken. Gets rid of any dust and debris inside. Again, it just pops over a little lip. And the other end pops over a lip. And it moves freely. Oh, I forgot to put the boot over this bottom lip. There. Good, good. A little brake clean, just cleaning up the threads on this bolt, but not lubing it with anything. I believe they're supposed to go in dry. I'll get the screwdriver and pop these out. I say screwdriver, and it originally was one, but I did heat up the tip and bend it. Well, I made this probably 10 years ago, and it comes in super handy for when you just need a little bit of prying. Get rid of that one. And again, these pistons look to be in good shape, no excessive rust or anything. I guess I better angle this up a little bit. Try turning the light. Hopefully that provides enough light. Put a little bit of tension on this, or compression I should say. And I've got the pan down below, so I'm going to loosen off the bleeder screw a little. Not a whole bunch, so I don't want air getting back in. And the bottom one's all the way in. Just tightening up the bleeder screw. And I'll move the clamp more to the top one so I can get them both in evenly. I see my battery's flashing, so I'll try and get this part done before it dies. So I'll loosen this off just a bit, then I can push this piston all the way in. You can see the fluid coming out the bleeder. When I'm done, I'll top off the brake fluid. It shouldn't need to be bled because no air was theoretically getting in there. Okay, I'll loosen the clamp off and get this old pad out of the way. Yeah, more trucks are coming. Pop that spring into place. There's one. Come on. These shouldn't require too much fighting. They should sort of just slide right into place like that. So we got the new, I don't know what you call them, holders, top and bottom, new spring, The plungers are pushed back, or the pistons are pushed back. Pads are in place. Pins are all greased up. That drops in place. Just give this other bolt a quick cleaning. And again, it is kind of spring-loaded, so you sort of have to hold it down so the bolt lines up with the pin hole, or the threaded hole in the pins. I don't know how well it shows up here, but so the pin doesn't, so it won't turn. There's sort of a shouldered top on it that fits against the body of this assembly. So as you tighten the bolt in, it sort of acts as a backup wrench, and it doesn't spin on you. And we'll put the proper amount of torque on. And that one's done. Well, I'll pop the tire back on and take it for a drive and make sure that, see how the brakes, the new brakes feel. I will pop up top and see if I need to check the top off the brake fluid. Yeah, the max line is up there, and currently the brake fluid's about there, so I'll dump in a couple ounces just to make sure. Okay, just gonna fire it up. Probably might have to pump the brakes a couple of times to get those pistons to come out and seat the pads against the disc. Yeah. Went down all the way, coming up. It's feeling better. Might need to bleed them a little bit. I'm just gonna go for a little drive here. You can come along if you want. If not, we'll see you on the next one. I just want to see how well they feel, or if they feel any better. Oh, I think they're much better. Yeah, that's a whole different feel to them. Drop from 50 down to 30. Yeah, much better. Alright, well, I'll leave it there. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll maybe see you on the next one, and have yourselves a good summer. Bye for now.